Your mind controls everything. Think negatively, negative happens. Think positively, positive happens. You choose. So you get to choose what happens in your life. Life doesn't happen to you. Life happens for you, right? And what a beautiful thing that you actually get to decide what goes on, what happens in your life, and who you become, all based off of your mind. It's more powerful than your environment. Most people think that their environment controls them. And it does if you allow it to. That's really all it comes down to. Your mind controls everything. So even when it comes to semen retention, I made my video of my 8-year semen retention journey. When I really locked in and said I was going to do it, when I was like 23 or 24, it took me until about 28 to really get it down good, right? So it took me 4 or 5 years to get it done. Now, one thing that I know in hindsight, looking back on this, is you can't be alone. You have to have people around you. I even listened to an audio book yesterday called The Practice of Brahmacharya, and that guy said the same thing. He said you shouldn't be alone when you're pursuing celibacy. You need to be around other people, right? Not women. You need to be around men, and you need to be around men on the same path. So back in this time when I was 23, 24, and I was pushing to learn this stuff, I was alone, so I never got it done, right? And then when I was 27, I ended up being around people every day. I had to share a hotel room with another guy, and I got it together. Then at 28, I got alone, relapsed, got it back together when I got around people, when I came back home. And I know now that's exactly like, you can't be alone. You got to be with people. But the point is from the beginning, when I was 23 and I made the commitment, I had all these failures, just repeat, failure, one after another, just destroying my confidence, and a lot of times destroying my own self-belief, because I'm like, well, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I keep doing it, right? So it was really, it was hard, but I just knew to just keep going. Just keep going, and one day, it's just going to happen. I'm going to overcome it. And here we are, 5 years later. And the whole point is, I never gave up. I made a decision, I stuck to that decision, and I never gave up. And you know who else said to do that? Donald fucking Trump. That motherfucker gave a speech at some college graduation, probably Harvard or something like that. And he said, never give up on your dreams. That's the main thing, is to never give up on your dreams, right? When I was a kid, kindergarten, what do you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be an astronaut. Obviously, I'm 29 years old. I'm not a fucking astronaut. I'm wearing dirty ass fucking Carhartts in my work boots right now, right? But guess what? Elon Musk is sending people to space. So one day, I'm going to pay to go to space. I'm going to have enough money, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to walk on the moon. And I'm going to jump with less gravity, like I always dreamed of. And I'm going to say, childhood dream accomplished. All I have to do is have the money to buy a ticket. I'm a fucking astronaut, baby. What the fuck? I don't have to give up on it. So, I was thinking, my brother and I are mowing, and I was thinking while I was mowing about this, how just having your desire and making your mind up and sticking to it, no matter the failures, of how you'll get it done. So I was thinking about when I was a freshman in high school, I joined JROTC. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to join the military. I had older brothers in the military, and I just thought it was fucking cool. I wanted to go to war. I loved playing war games and getting in the woods with my brother, and we'd shoot each other with airsoft guns, paintball guns. It was just a good fucking time, right? So I joined JROTC, and in our JROTC program, they had a Raider team and a drill team. So drill was like the marching and flipping the guns and the flags and, the gay shit. And then the Raider team was cool stuff, where they put you, our competitions, we'd go camp for the weekend, and they'd have us get up 5 a.m., we'd eat breakfast, and then you go out into the field and you're doing navigation stuff. I learned how to navigate on a map with a compass to find different points. We're running through the woods with stretchers and dummy M16s and crawling through the mud, all that fun shit, right? But when I was a freshman and we were going to tryouts, it was a retired lieutenant colonel that was the teacher, and he said every year they take one freshman and put them on varsity, right? So that was all I needed to hear. I said, okay, cool. That's me. I'm that guy. So I worked and worked and worked, right? We had practice. I'd go to practice. But I won because every day when I went home, I would do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 50 pull-ups, and I'd run 2 miles. So I'd go for a mile run, I'd come home, do my 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 50 pull-ups, and then I'd go run another mile. And I did that every single fucking day after school. And I got put on varsity. Nobody else did. There was another kid that was trying to get on varsity. His name was Jake. Jake, if you're watching this, you're still a pussy. Fuck you. So, he was trying to get on the team. He could never fucking beat me. But he didn't work as hard as me. That's all it came down to, right? Yeah, I probably had a little bit of a genetic advantage over him, just a little more natural athlete than Jake was. But I also worked harder, so it was like, there's no chance you're going to beat me. And there was another guy named Jonathan, same way. He was always jealous of me, because I was whooping his ass. Jonathan eventually started working really hard, because I told him that. I told him one day, he asked me, like, man, how do you always beat me? And shit, he had a moment of humility. And I told him, I was like, bro, I work harder than you. Like, I just train every single fucking day, and you don't do that shit. And so he started grinding. He blew up. He put muscle on, and he got faster and everything. And he started competing. He started getting close, and he was happier. He would be laughing. Even though I beat him, he'd be laughing and be like, dude, one of these days I'm going to get you. I was so fucking close, Duval, right? But it was just because he worked and he tried. Now he's happier. But he had the desire. He made his mind up. And he pushed, right? But me doing this, making my mind up, and making varsity, I got a bunch of status. I didn't give a fuck about that when I was fucking 14. I just wanted to be on varsity. It was like, I can't be on JV. Like, no, I need to start. And I got a bunch of status. I got my first blowjob from a girl who was in JROTC the next year, right? And it was because I had this status. I was that guy. I was the only freshman that was put on varsity, right? And everyone in the school knows. Nick did his thing. Because we had our Veterans Day shit. And they got us all in front of the school at the pep rally and all that shit. Boom. It was me, the only freshman. And my dad used to brag to everybody at fucking church and stuff and be like, when this kid puts his mind to something, there's no stopping him. He gets it done. That's because when I was a kid, motherfuckers like my mom and dad, like my brother, would tell me, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like a tree would fall and we'd cut it up and everyone would get tired and go inside. And I'd be carrying the biggest logs I could pick up. Like that's all I fucking cared about was like, how strong am I? And I would find the biggest logs that my dad was cutting. And I'd pick those up and carry those motherfuckers. However I could, I didn't care. It was just like, I need to carry it. And if I had to put it down before I got it to the woods where we were taking it, I did. I put it down and I'd rest for a little bit, pick it up, and carry it over there. And I remember my family, telling me, come inside. No, you can't do that alone. And I'd clean up the rest of the fucking tree by myself. And it was all because they told me I couldn't do it. And I knew that I could. And when they said I couldn't, I'd just be like, why the fuck would you even say that? Like, of course I can clean this shit up. Don't tell me that I can't. So that was good lessons, right? That adversity, having that environment of people around me that were a little more negative, really built a lot of self-belief because I knew that I could do it. And it's like, don't tell me that I can't. So I'd get it done. Built a lot of confidence and self-belief. So that's what you have to do on this path, is tell yourself, no matter how many times you relapse, you're going to keep going. You're going to get back up, and you're going to keep pushing, right? You're never going to stop. And eventually, it will come to you. In some way, shape, or form, somehow, it's going to come to you, and you're going to get it done, right? When I was on the West Coast, and I was alone, practicing this stuff, all I wanted was a better job and a girlfriend. And then I moved back home to Tennessee. I get a job selling cars where I'm making fucking 10, 15 grand a month. And then I get a girlfriend. She's young. She was 5, 6 years younger than me. Praise God, she was in college. And I'm like, woo! I got what I wanted. I remember we were on a hike together, and it hit me, and I was like, I got what I wanted. I was asking God for this shit for like 2 years. All I wanted was a better fucking job and a girlfriend. Here we are. I'm making more money than I've ever made, more than I thought I would ever make, and I got a hot young girlfriend who's a fucking conservative, which is great for a young girl in college, right? So she comes over to my apartment and does my laundry. I don't have to. I just tell her, hey, I got laundry that needs to be done, and she does the laundry, right? She puts the dishes in the dishwasher, right? There's no discussion. What a great thing. But I knew I would get it. So you guys have to do that on this journey. I think a lot of y'all get discouraged because you just fall and fall and fall and fall and fall. You have to dig into your own mind and tell yourself that it's going to happen no matter what. No matter how many times I fail, no matter how many times I fall, I will overcome lust one day. I will overcome lust. I will get that wife. I will get that girlfriend. I will get that better job. You cannot give in. Life is going to fuck you up on repeat. It's a part of it. But you have to use your mind. If you don't use your mind, other people are going to tell you how to think. That's one thing making these videos I get really concerned about, where I'm like, dude, I hope these guys are strong-willed. I hope these guys have a strong mind. Because if they expect me to fix their issues, you're never gonna get out of this shit, dude. You're never gonna get out of this shit if you think that me or some other semen retention YouTuber is gonna fix your problem. This should be stuff that just you're using to just program your mind, to just program yourself that it's gonna happen. You're gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get it fucking done. Because when you do that, you're showing God, you're showing the universe that you're taking steps towards it and you want to get it done. And, you know, under the sun sees everything. It casts light on everything. It sees everything. So, it's being tracked. It's being watched. Something knows. Something out there knows what you're doing and knows what you're thinking. So, do a fucking rain dance. Watch the fucking YouTube video first thing in the morning to program yourself. It's easier to program yourself in the morning when things are calm. If you wake up early and your mind is slow. Now, if you wake up late, 8, 9 a.m. and the sun's way up, you're not really going to wake up that calm. If you're getting up between 4 and 6 a.m., the animals aren't up yet. Everything in nature is slow. So you are slow. Your brain is slowed down. You're calm. You're relaxed. It's a good time to meditate. You can listen to something like this to program your mind and show God, show the universe that this is what you want. And it'll happen for you. But if you don't use your own mind, someone else is going to think for you. Someone else is going to tell you how to think. This is what you see with a common thing. You know, I worked in politics, was Republicans and Democrats. I learned. I knocked on these people's doors. Like, this neighborhood I'm in, dude, I tear this fucking shit up. You knock 150 doors a day and talk to a lot of people. One thing I learned was Democrats do not think for themselves. They're weak-minded people that let everyone, they follow the crowd because it's easier, and they let everyone else think for them. And Republicans, even I would say things to Republicans that was like I was knocking for Ron DeSantis, and I was a Trump guy the whole time. I was like, DeSantis is doing this for name ID, right? He wants to get a little more popularity and get his name out there. So maybe in the future he'll make a real run for president. I don't think he'll ever get it. He doesn't have the charisma to be president, to be honest, because in America, we like charisma more than we do work. That's why nothing gets done by our politicians, because the people decide whoever's the most charismatic is who gets voted for. And a lot of times the guy who's the most charismatic does not fucking work hard. That's just how it is. It's not like, most of the time, that's what you get. You got your exceptions, like Trump, who's a very charismatic guy and works hard as well. But most of the time, you don't get that. Most of the time, the charismatic guy is lazy, and he uses his charisma to move him forward, which is a politician. Exactly what a politician is. So, you have to think for yourself. Don't be a fucking liberal. Don't be a Democrat. Whatever. Maybe you are, right? Like, I had a guy comment on my stuff for abortion, and he said the planet's overpopulated, and so we need that. Who told you that? How did you come to that conclusion that the planet is overpopulated? Because Bill Gates told you? Because as far as I can see, the food is growing, the rain is falling, everything is good. I think personally that Mother Nature is not going to allow itself to be overrun. It'll start creating storms and earthquakes and shit and killing people off herself. There'll be diseases and shit if we start actually overpopulating the planet and destroying everything. I don't think we're going to make this planet a fucking wasteland unless we use nukes, which might be Mother Nature's way we all kill ourselves, right? That might be Mother Nature's way of lowering the population, right? Nobody told me this shit. I came to my own conclusion. I looked around. I fucking hiked in the mountains for ages and said, you know what? There's no way all this shit here, and people are telling me we're overpopulated. There's nothing but fucking mountains here. What? We got plenty of space. There's plenty of space to grow food. What are you talking about? Right? So, don't let motherfuckers think for you. Think for yourself. Use your own mind. Make a decision and stick to it. Have the desire to overcome your lust, right? Don't be alone. If you're alone right now, if you live in a city where you don't really know anyone, your family's not there, and you've got a job, and you need to make friends with one of your coworkers and start hanging out with them. If you can't do that, you need to go to the fucking bars. That's what I did when I was on the West Coast. I was out there alone. I went to the bar, and I had a random dude come and ask if he could sit at the table and talk to me. He was there on a date with his girlfriend, and I made friends with these people. I had a friend group now because I just put myself out there. So don't be alone on this. You have to go and talk to someone. And you have to use your own mind. You have to use your own fucking mind. You cannot let someone else think for you. And you have to make that decision, have the desire, and stick to it no matter what. No matter how long it takes. I don't care how long it takes, right? It's likely going to take longer than you think until it starts happening. Because then once it starts happening, you're rolling. Woo, 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 woo. I've said it in plenty of my videos before. You either spiral up or down. There is no in between. Now I want to switch topics a little bit to go back to my last video and what I talked about. One thing I have to say about that, like that video, it didn't get a lot of views. It's algorithm suppression and stuff because of what I talked about. If you relate to that, because some of y'all did, and I'm sure there's a lot more out there that haven't even seen the video that relate. But if you did relate to that, you do have this like trauma from your childhood and stuff, or whatever it is, you got this issue. Tell someone and then move on, right? Because when I made that video, dude, I was weak as fuck. And I knew it. I had to post the video anyway. I didn't care. I had to record it. I had to post it. But I knew within myself, when I was sitting in the sauna thinking about this stuff and reliving it, people were staring at me. I had my headphones in, listening to music, and people kept looking at me because it was clear I was going through something. And it really fucked up my mood for a little while. I had to do it. But you do not want to sit and ruminate on it. Admit it and move forward. Carry on with your life. It's time to forget about it. It's time to let it go. Don't blame nobody. I can't blame this dude that did this shit to me for my fucking sex addiction and my soon-to-be porn addiction. It wasn't his fault. It was my fault. I did it. I let it happen. I should have talked to someone before. I should have confronted the trauma instead of running from it, right? Don't blame anyone else. It's on you, bro. It's on you. I know you've heard this shit before. Most people have heard this stuff. They can say this stuff, but they don't believe it. I got a friend like this. He can fucking tell me every spiritual concept in the world. I got a couple friends like this. They can say it. They've read it. They've never applied it. They've never tried. They don't have the experience. There's no weight to what they say. It's like they say it to me, and I look at them, and I'm just like, you don't even believe what you're saying. You're just repeating something. You know, they're trying to self-program. And it's like, why don't you just fucking try it? Why don't you do it, right? I had a friend saying everything was a dream. Everything is a dream. It's not even real. Reality's just a dream. It's something that you're dreaming from your own mind. Okay, cool, fine. I understand that concept, right? But there's also an element of this being real. Like, this is a real phone. I'm real, you know. Okay, I'm gonna dream myself to a better life. I dreamed myself in the past to this moment. Okay, that's fine. You can say that. Now, what applicability is that? What benefit is it giving you to know that everything is a dream? Are you just gonna live off in La La Land and not live in the real world? Because there's an element of you needing to live in La La Land in the mental plane, and there's in the mental spiritual plane, and there's an element of you that needs to be in the physical plane to move forward and make things happen. And that's what he rejects, is the physical plane. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're right here in front of me. I touch him. Like, dude, if you don't take steps on this, you won't get it. So he's walking his dog one night. He's saying everything's a dream. And he said, if this is a dream, I'd be able to fly right now. I'd be able to just take off like Superman. And apparently he says that he had a dream where he could do that. He just flew away like Superman. And, well, he decided not to test the theory. And I told him, brother, you didn't test the theory of whether you could fly or not in that moment because you knew that you weren't going to fly, and it was going to shatter your idea that you're living in a dream. Right? There's a time when you dream, and there's a time when you don't dream, and you're in the real world. And he didn't want to admit it. He didn't want to admit it, but he didn't try. He didn't try to fly. Why didn't you try to fly? Because you didn't want to realize, you didn't want to be standing on the ground. You wanted to leave it up in the air that, oh, this is a dream, and you didn't test your theory. So don't do that shit, right? There's an element that you need to use your mind and program your mind a certain direction, whatever direction you want to go. You need to do that. I'm not saying don't do that, but there's also an element where you have to come to 3D reality in the physical world, and you have to take physical action and steps to make things happen, right? Because I've been on both sides. I started out as a very physical person, and everything I got done was my will, force, pushing, and physical reality. And then I went through a phase where I said I can just meditate and make everything happen in my head, right? And now I'm in the middle where it's like you have to do both. Meditate, focus on it, dream about it, think about it, listen to an audiobook, whatever the fuck it is, make it happen. But then go take steps, take action to make it happen. Putting both of them together is what actually makes it happen. And it makes it happen fast, right? So there's your fucking manifestation techniques. Alright, so that's it, fellas. Subscribe to the channel, share this with a friend. Have a good one.